Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I've been keeping this a secret for a long time. The Patreon viewers know that it's been a couple months now, but we actually have a 3D printer and it's very large and it's gonna help us a lot with some custom car panels. We have a new partner. It is ApexCharger. They are the preferred EV charger of the electric supercar channel. Now I have reviewed a lot of chargers and let me show you why I prefer this one. So they really took a new approach to how to look at chargers. They looked at all the shortcomings and some of the issues and glitches that other systems had, and they've really addressed all of them. So let me introduce you to the MACH I. So this is the first charger I've reviewed that actually comes with a Tesla adapter. And it is like nice, it is really good quality. All right, so one of the things that really made me like this one is it has the longest cable that I'm aware of. I probably reviewed dozens of these, and this one is 30 feet. That's right, 30. Do you know that you'll likely change your car twice before you'll change your EV charger once? They wanted to remove the anxiety over which EV charger to pick. So this provides up to 9 times faster charging, boasting 48 amps of charge. So this one, like a lot of the others, has the dust cover, which is nice. But let me tell you about this. It's got metal. So again, I think lots of times when you think of these, you think plastic. It's got a very nice metal thumb button there. So it does come with a mounting plate. It comes with the mounting for the handpiece, along with the hardware. They also give you tools, which is nice. They're not just the cheapy ones. These are tools you can put in your toolbox. So the other thing is there have been some other units that I've reviewed that have the option for an RFID card, but they have not come with RFID cards. So these ones actually come with 2 RFID cards. And what makes this nice is like if you're in a public area like an apartment or something like that, you don't have to worry that somebody else is going to be using your equipment. You can make it activated only with a card. So not only you can do it, but you can share it with your friends. One of the cool things that this ApexCharger has, it actually has instructions as well as hardware to make it from a plug to hardwired. Sometimes there's people that can't quite make up their mind if they want a plug or if they want it hardwired. This actually allows you to do either one. If you're in need of a charger, this is a great option. It's got the best power that I've seen. It's got the longest cable that I've seen. It's got all the options for charging with RFID, app, or just plug and play. We will be seeing these guys again as they are now a new partner, so please go visit their site and pick up a charger today. So I forget to do this sometimes, so I'm gonna recap for those new viewers. Again, there's probably at least 2 of you that YouTube has recommended this to. So this is for you. So I've got 3 builds that I'm working on. This is the 1958 MGA. Up here we have a Nissan 300ZX from 1992. Let's not forget the fan favorite, the 2014 Porsche. So this 3D printer is gonna actually help every single project I work on. But for this episode, we're gonna be talking mostly about the Porsche. So as you can see, we've got lots of the panels that are stripped off. And with the help of some viewers, we're actually creating a new design, and 3D printer is gonna be a pretty big part of that. All right, so I've tried to have a new workflow. I think in the past, I would always just kind of grab something and then just start shaping or anyways, do things on the fly. So what I've been trying to do is go to a scanner rather than cardboard, and then go to CAD. The last part of this is then how do you create it? So I partnered with a company and we're gonna do a lot of 3D printing. Today is the installation day of my new 3D printer. This is the Big Rep Studio G2. So it's got a print bed of 1000 millimeters by 500 millimeters by 500 millimeters. This will be used to help make car panels for the Porsche. All right, we just finished calibration and now we're printing a test part. I'm so excited to get this to make some big car panels. My first part is done. There we go. It's gonna be a fuse holder. All right, there's some big filament. They've recommended this high temp. They said it'll be good for pretty much anything that I'll use. So we're gonna go ahead and swap out filaments. So I'm just getting the temperature up for the nozzle so I can swap things out. Yeah, you don't wanna let go. There we go. All right, this one's coming out. The other one's coming in. There we go. we go. Oh, got it. All right, since I've changed filaments, I've got to do a flow rate change or calibration. So I've got this measuring device. We go ahead and mark it here, run the amount of filament that it says, and then make the adjustment. All right, now that it's done extruding, find our mark. I don't even see the mark. No, we're gonna have to do that again with something that I can see. All right, so the yellow mark, I don't know if you can see that, but right there, that's kind of where it's supposed to be. So we are pretty close to dialed in. We'll just make whatever adjustment we need to though. So again, that's about 2 millimeters over about 300 millimeters. So we'll make the adjustment. All right, we're gonna make the adjustment. Okay, we are ready to run my first part. Stick this one in. Cancel out of that. There we are, up. All right, should be good to go. There it is, printing a piece that I designed. See how it turns out. This is one of the first pieces that I'm gonna make. Now this is actually gonna be a cover that goes on top of the bumper that essentially covers when the wing is up. So it's kind of a piece that's, I'll say, a little less noticeable. I figured it's a good place to start. Let's get into it. All right, our first print is done. It's complete. So what are the chances that I can get this out without breaking it? I think it's free. Here is the second part. It's just massive. I shouldn't say the second part, it's part of the other part. We had to split it. So we will see if we can get this one off. Oh yeah. Now we gotta see if we can get all the supports off cleanly. All right, we were able to get all these supports off. They're kind of like accordion style, but I'm getting a little more comfortable. At first, I just wanted to baby it, just so afraid I was gonna break the part, but finally got some tools, and yeah, the part's pretty robust. These ones come off okay. I still am careful with it, but yeah. Let me show you the part. Here is the first part we printed. I believe it's gonna go like this. So these will interlock like so. So we got one more to print, but yeah, we'll go ahead and figure out how to best join these up and get the other one printed, and then this will be our first car panel. The printer is big, but it's not big enough to do 6 feet wide to do like a whole bumper. So I've got this into 3 different pieces, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to glue them. I'm gonna use a hot glue to kind of make sure everything's aligned. So I'm gonna use the popsicle sticks to kind of make sure all the planes are aligned, and then use the glue to really set things in place. Just using some super glue. This is Gorilla Clear Glue. I'm sure you guys have some good suggestions, all you 3D printer people out there.
There's the first joint. Well, that one's set up. The thought is if you can make like this surface tangent to that surface in several different places, that they will all line up, meaning that piece will line up with this piece.
Super glue did not work, or at least this brand of super glue. It just kind of peeled right off. So we are going to make it a little more firm, a little more sturdy, and we're going to essentially really reinforce, I'll call it the backside, because we are going to just make a mold out of this so we can make a part. All right, I believe we've let enough time set up. We're gonna see if this works or if this is a bad option. It's actually not too bad. I think we can make that work. So here the thought is not just to do, I'll call it a butt joint where you just, the two ends are coming together, but some support further along. And then also these are vertical, which will help it not kind of flex quite as much right around that joint. So we've got one more to do on this side, and then we'll see if we can't start making the mold. All right, I believe this one should be set up. Yeah, seems to hold pretty good. So I think what I'll do now, I've got the whole thing and I just want to make sure it's not going to twist, bend, warp, or otherwise. So I've got the CAD model and I've got measurements kind of from the farthest hole to the farthest hole. So I'm going to do likely is just get like a 2x4 and put some pins or screws or something in it. So as I lay up the mold and things, things don't twist around or warp. That'll also make sure it's flat this way. It's not twisted this way, or it's not like flaring out or in. So 30 is middle. All right, I now have the position both X, Y, and Z, meaning this plane here was supposed to be about 1.7 inches up from that one. So we've got that taken care of. We've got the that spacing so it won't bow out, so it's good for X, Y, and Z. So now we can start cleaning things up and getting ready for the mold. So I've just got some drywall compound. I'm using that instead of body filler just because it's cheaper, it's easier to sand, meaning it's a little softer. And I've had some pretty good luck, so we're gonna try it again. All right, I just went through and did a quick skim coat over everything. once and then sanded it, and then over the joints I did it twice. So you can see it turned out really well. It almost acts like a guide coat, where you can kind of sand just until you can start to see the top of the 3D printed part. And so again, that should make everything really smooth. I think this is looking really good. Next, I've got to make some flanges. So all around the perimeter, I'm gonna kind of extend it out just a little bit. We're gonna put some chipboard around all the edges. All right, I put the tape over the flange thinking that it's gonna have like a wax barrier or something. Helps so water and things don't seep in, and it seems like it's almost the opposite. You can see it just kind of creates all these little wrinkles and things as it's kind of absorbing or releasing the water. And so I did this little test piece here, and you can see again wrinkles, and then I did just this. Spent a whole bunch of time trying to fix this or make it better when I made it worse. So I'm gonna take off the tape and do it again. So we're setting up the paint booth so we can coat the plug and then make the mold. All right, so this is some high build primer. It's specifically designed, I think, for kind of to coat molds or plugs. It comes out really thick, so I've also got some thinner. So we'll mix it up, start painting. Well, that seems to have gone bad or set up, so we're going to use some different primer. I just put on the first coat of this is kind of a primer. The thought is I'm going to coat it nice and heavy and then be able to sand it smooth. I'll likely do at least 2 coats. We'll see how this sets up. All right, we have taken this out. See if we can get a good finish. It's time to put on some gel coat. So we got some gel coat, some thinner. We're gonna spray it on. We'll do 2 thick coats. That's looking really good. Got a nice thick layer of the gel coat. So this is setting up now, and we're gonna get ready for some fiberglass. All right, we've got a couple layers of fiberglass over everything. The plan is, I think what I'm gonna try and do is I'm actually gonna try and separate the mold from the plug. We did put on a good layer of wax, so hopefully this will come off pretty easy. All right, here is our mold. There are gonna be some touch-up spots, so like right here, this is where the screw was, so basically we just need to fill that in so it's kind of a even surface, kind of like that one. Again, this is one of my better efforts.
This one will do the same, probably just touch that up a little bit. Here's some stuff that needs to come off still. I need to trim up all the flanges. Just gonna give myself like an inch or so on all the sides. And there will be, I'm sure, a couple spots that I need to touch up just a little bit. And after we touch them up, I think we might be ready to make some carbon fiber. We are going to go ahead and trim up all the edges. When I was making it, I thought I had some decent sized flanges, but now that I'm looking at it, they look kind of small. Nevertheless, we'll go ahead and trim things up. All right, I thought I'd show a quick aftermath of how the 3D print held up. So again, separating the mold from the plug here kind of applied a lot of force, so it broke along some of the seams. But yeah, the method for using the drywall is really quick. I like that better than the body filler just because it sands so much faster. And then the layer of primer also worked really well. Interesting here, so this joint held up, so there's two different pieces. That joint held up, this one broke, but again, we were applying lots of force. I didn't really expect this to survive. So yeah, we'll probably go ahead and discard this, clean up a little bit. All right, here we are just after cleaning up a little bit. I need to go kind of do, I'll call it some hand sanding, just kind of a lot of these corners. Just need to make sure they're nice and rounded. And there's just a few spots I need to fill in, but then we'll start measuring and cutting out some of the carbon fiber. All right, I just put on some of the filler in just some of the areas that needed it. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand this up and then we'll get it ready for another coat of primer. Again, the surface is amazing where it's amazing, but the sections that need it, you have to touch it up. And then once you touch it up, I think it's probably best to do another coat of primer. So again, if I was better, this would already be ready for doing a carbon fiber part. All right, here we are. Go number 2. Got that guy already sanded. So with the right lighting and stuff, you can see that's kind of where a big old drop of water went. And so there's water issues there, but hopefully the rest of it looks pretty good. So we will sand this one, especially because we've got some slight issues here. There you can kind of see it again. But we'll sand this one, probably 400, 600, and then it'll be ready for carbon fiber. I believe the mold is all ready. I just need to clean up this table so we got a little better workspace. Then what I'll do is I'll put wax on the mold and start laying up the carbon fiber. All right, we have things all set up. Again, I want to thank one of my very first sponsors, Fiberglass. They're helping with this build, and they have all the products that you need. Resin pots, the infusion adhesive, got your tubing, your peel ply, and of course, carbon fiber. I'm going to be using the stabilized. This is some flow media. They even sell the vacuum pump. So if you are interested in doing anything like this, anything composites related, go visit fiberglass.com. They've got everything that you need. So at this point, I wanted to finish and make a carbon fiber part. But it reminded me, so I want some good panel gaps, and it didn't seem like the right thing to do to make that part and hope that it fit well with the others. So I'm actually gonna make a lot of 3D printed parts, make sure the panel gaps are good before I start making carbon fiber. I think I did a pretty good job hiding this because it has been several months and it's always been just right over there in the corner. I tried not to show it on any of the videos so it could be somewhat of a surprise, but tell me if you saw this before today. All right, so we've got a lot of printing to do. I've actually made a lot of progress on some things. So stay tuned, join Patreon if you want to see earlier looks, and I'll see you next time. Stupid camera. Yeah, this is way too close, man. 3D print. Well, it's good enough.